So hey, what is up guys? We are out of the basement and on a location in the kitchen. So welcome to TSP TV, something I'm going to start introducing as part of the improvement and more programming that you will be seeing on TSP TV is maybe a segment called Cooking with Tia. I've already done a couple of videos in the kitchen since this whole stupid global pandemic thing has got us locked at home and some of us are non-essential, as well as a couple of videos out that I shot on location at work where I've made a few sandwich videos for the sandwich shop playlist, as well as a couple of spicy ramen reviews with my dear friend TT and Jessica, as well as a couple of the other girls at work. We also did a prison ramen recipe, but this is going to be an actual kind of cooking recipe. I'm going to be using a one-pan recipe today, or this is going to be a one-pan recipe today, and it is going to be a breakfast skillet. So I do have some of the ingredients already on display. All I need is like my proteins, which is my sausage and bacon, which is still in the refrigerator. But we've got some potatoes, we've got some eggs. The box of eggs there is just kind of for backdrop and effect purposes. We got some cheese, we got some butter. And as I said, all I've got to do is get the bacon and sausage out of the refrigerator. But what I am going to do is do my chopping, a little bit of prep, and then we will come back to this once we are cooking with gas. Although we're not cooking with gas, I am in the kitchen at home and we're using an electric hob, which isn't my favorite way to cook, and I also feel very cumbersome working in civilian kitchens because I am a chef by trade and I'm kind of more used than regular to working in a fully stocked professional kitchen. So anyway, this is another purpose of doing this in the kitchen at home, is that you've got a kitchen like this at home, you've got a single frying pan, and maybe with these ingredients you can knock up the dish that I am going to be preparing for you now, which is going to be a one-pan breakfast skillet with extra cheese and butter, cooked pretty much entirely in bacon grease and butter, all the good stuff that they tell you not to eat. That's the shit I'm going to be putting in this ingredient. So Cowboy Ken Rollins, Paula Dean, move over, there's a new butter bandit in town. But when we get to the butter part, that's when we really will see the sizzles. I got to do some chopping now, and we'll get back to you once my prep is done. So let me just show you what I'm doing here. So I've already chopped one. I don't know if you can see that. That is the bigger of the two potatoes I'm using. That's why I'm using 2 potatoes out of a sack of 10 pounds of potatoes that I got a little while ago. It's part of my Walmart hauling, which was kindly provided by the donations to people who view my channel, who put some tips in my tip jar. So I'm going to give you a little tip. I'm trying to look in the camera. So when you cut, you know, kind of start learning to cut, maybe hold your knife a little bit more like this and a little bit like that, and stop cutting like a mum, because when you're a mum you kind of cut like this and what you have is absolutely no control, and you shouldn't be cutting like this. It's not a saw, it's a knife. So this is the wrong way to cut. The right way to cut, put the knife here, and like that. And lucky enough we didn't remove any of our fingers. So all I've done, look, as you can see here, is cut the potato very thin. That one's even very thinner still, and that's like a potato chip waiting to happen. But the thinner the better, because that's going to reduce your cook time. Now what I've done here, as you see, to slice those up. Then we go 1, 2, 3, turn those round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Boom, in the pot on the side. So we're probably going to have more potatoes than we actually have room for in the pan, which might be interesting. So again, chop those up and chop. There we go. That's how easy and quickly it is to prepare your own little hash browns. And a lot cheaper than buying the frozen version, and you can actually put these in a Ziploc and freeze them if you want. So I do got a couple of little pieces here that I'm going to just chop up quickly, and then I'm going to get my bacon and sausage chopped, and then we will start the cooking process. Okie dokie, so we've got everything prepped, and this is a little bit of an example of prepping in the kitchen, and how, you know, a little bit of pre-advanced planning like this, chopping all your stuff, will make your cooking process a little bit easier. Now obviously when I work in my kitchen at work, usually my prep is a lot more than just what we've got to see there. So this is only taking me literally a couple of minutes to chop up and prepare. And all I have here is 3 breakfast sausages and 3 rashers of bacon. So that is all we're going to be using, as well as some cheese and some eggs for this 1 pan recipe. So don't know if you can see in the background, there is the pan on the stove top. So let me get that warmed up and relocate the camera. Okay, so the pan is sizzling it now. We've got it on about 2/3 of the way between low and medium, so just a little bit over half and not quite high at the highest. Let me just try and show you there, just so you can see if that helped or not. I don't know, but you want to go, you don't want it as hot as you can go. You want it about 2/3. A good way to test your pan is hot. You've got some water here. I'm just gonna, there you go. We know it's hot enough. That is the sizzle we want there. So what I am going to do is just prime the pan with just a little drizzle of vegetable oil. And the only reason we are doing that is we just want to get a little bit of a coating around, because this is what we're doing, and we're going to be cooking in good old butter. Don't ever anybody tell you not to cook in butter, because this is where the deliciousness is. So hold on 1 second. And we're gonna, this is what I'm talking about, move over Paula Dean. We're gonna get the butter right in the pan, get that nice and bubbly, just like that. And the good thing about the vegetable oil, this stops the bacon burning. So we've got that nice bubbling butter there. That alone should be getting the mouth watering. And what we're gonna be doing is dropping in our bacon. And it is a little bit stuck together, but as it cooks, that will fall to pieces. And what we're going to do is be rendering that bacon fat, and also the fat that is emitted from the sausage. Excuse me if you are a vegetarian or maybe religious beliefs mean you don't eat pork. You could also do this with the butter, with the oil, but put in like a can of mixed beans like I have in my pantry. You may have seen them if you followed my pantry build. But there you go, guys, already sizzling bacon. What's better than that? Again, probably lots of things if religious beliefs, but if you are a fan of bacon and a fan of breakfast and a fan of sausage, then already your mouth-watering memory muscles will be kicking in about now. So that's all our protein. So as I said, we don't want it too hot. We don't want the butter to burn. And what we want to do is just move it around and then give it a little bit of a toss, and it will start to break down. And this is why I don't really like cooking with electric, because of the temperature. Like with a kitchen, when you take this off, the temperature goes down. So it's one of those kind of convention type deals. But already you can see we're getting some of the fat of the bacon and some of the fat of this sausage filling in the pan. And that's all we're going to be using, because that's where all the flavour is. And also we put the coating of butter. So bacon cooked in butter is just the best way to go. There's no other way. Tell me in the messages below why you think cooking bacon in butter is wrong, and I'll tell you every reason why it's right. This is so bad, it's got to be good, is what I'm saying. So anyway, let's keep that sizzling away there. And we did get a little bit of a drop there, but no worries. 5-second rule. Like I said, it's a little bit difficult when you are in an unfamiliar kitchen. I don't often cook in this one at all. So we want to just get a little bit of more caramelization on the fat, and maybe just a little bit of colour on the sausage. But you can pretty much see the sausage, although it hasn't browned, is pretty much cooked through. You just want to get a little bit more colour to that bacon, and there you go, guys. Once it starts to cook, it starts to break up, and already we've got all that goodness of bacon grease and the fat from the sausage, which is going to be the majority of our flavouring for the remainder of this dish. So as I said, just give that a couple of seconds more. And I think got a little about preparedness, got a little cloth there, clean as you go. That way you don't have a big effort, and that's the part and parcel of a one dish or one pan recipe, is because you haven't got the amount of dishes to do afterwards. So let's see if we can give that another little toss. And again, we did lose a little bit, never mind, 5-second rule. Clean it up. So there we are, that's going to sizzle away. What we're going to do now is add our potatoes and kind of pat those down. And what we want to do is kind of move those around and try and get those coated in the fat too, as much as possible. So we did lose one, but that's not too bad. They will get away from you a little bit. So let's kind of try and pat it down with the thing. And as you can see, we've lost a little bit of the heat, which is why I don't like cooking with electric. Gas is always better, and why professional kitchens use gas and not electric. But still, this is a kitchen that you may have very similar at home. And as I said, I'm not really doing anything too fancy or chefy with this dish. And hopefully, if you've got a little bit of a knowledge of cooking yourself, then you can master this. Now, a good thing also to do possibly in advance as part of your preparation would be to parboil your potatoes, and that would reduce your cooking time quite considerably here, and that is why we have cut them as thin as possible. So we're going to keep it again on a low simmer for a while. I'm just going to kind of pat that down, because what we want to do is just try and get a little bit of coating and colouring on the potatoes. And what we will do eventually to make sure they cook is add a little bit of water. We want to get the heat up and back in there, and as I said, we kind of want to get as much as we can on the surface. We do want to get a little bit of a crust going on the bottom. And if you really wanted to, and I do want to, this is time where you can add more butter, because butter makes everything taste good. So the butter will kind of self-baste on down through the potatoes into the bacon bits. Now the other thing I'm going to use now for a little bit of seasoning, it says there that it's top onions. It isn't. It's actually my all-in-one homemade seasoning, sort of multi-purpose seasoning, a blend of different spices and herbs that gives you, you know, you don't need for multiple jars of seasoning. You can just put this shit on everything. So that's what we're going to do. Give it a little bit of a coat on there, and the heat of that, the pan will already, I'm getting the aromas. Like I say, the heat of the pan will start to release some of those oils into the flavourings and into the oil itself that we're cooking in. So that's all we're doing. We're not going to be adding any additional salt and pepper. There's enough salt going on in the bacon and the sausage, and this is, as I said, a little variety of different spices. There's some onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, cayenne, just to name a couple of things. As well as even bacon bites. Yep, there's extra bacon bites in there, because again, if you are a religious nature, then probably not the best thing to be putting in an all-in-one seasoning, but I do like my bacon, and as I said, bacon and butter is what's going on. Can you hear that sizzle, guys? That is what we are talking about right there. As you can see, everything's moving. We didn't add that much oil, that's just the butter, and just kind of slowly sauteing in its own juices. What I'm going to do is give it another little flip, and you can kind of see that we've got a little bit of colorization going on, just a little bit. Nice. Okie dokie. So that's kind of cooking and simmering. We're going to just give that a couple of minutes, and we'll show you what we're going to do next. Again, just try and get that platted down. And this is why we do it on a medium heat and not a very as high as it'll go. I mean, if we did it high, we could have probably cooked the bacon and sausage and eaten it by now. But slow and steady, and we want to kind of let a little bit of that steam power cook the potatoes. So what you would do is you'd get a pan or a lid. In this case, I'm using a pan because it's got a little bit of a bigger dome, and that allows the steam to kind of regenerate back into there. We will be putting that on a little bit again in a minute. Let's put that just up there. You don't see it, I know where it is. As I said, we just want to get this a little bit more colorization. It's beginning to come, and you can see we've got some caramelization now on the bacon, and we've got that sizzle. So just once we get some color on the potatoes, we've got the bacon, we don't want everything to burn. And what we are going to do now is just add about that much water. And what that's going to do is that's going to continue to saute that, and we're going to put the lid on for a couple of seconds. So this is where I will put you on pause for 1 or 2 minutes, just to let this kind of cook up, and then we're going to add the eggs and the cheese. Okay, so let's slowly get in there. The water is, as you can see, slowly starting to reduce. We do got the bubbling there. So what I'm going to start doing at this point is start layering our cheese. There's some potatoes and bacon that was stuck to the spatula. Spatula City. That's a UHF reference. Listen to that sizzle, guys. Now we can kind of see that the water has burnt off, and that is going back to the fat. So layering of cheese, guys, doesn't that just sound sexy in its own right? So I've got, these are just basic kind of cheese slices, the kind of dairy stuff. So I've got 4 of them. So what we're going to do is kind of throw one on to the top like this. No fanciness, random as it is, where it lands is where it lands. But what we are going to do, move that out of the way. There, we've got the good heat going now. And as you can see, we've got some good colorization coming on these potatoes. And what's going to happen is that, all being well, cheese is going to start sticking our base, because all we're going to do at the end of this is kind of slide it out, hopefully, onto the potatoes are soft enough to eat right now. So we are just going for the colorization right now, which that will take place. So what we're going to do with our eggs, oh, you fucking stupid egg, put 1, get the shell, get 2, and add more cheese. Now we're not going to add any more butter or any more seasoning or anything like this. Now hopefully the cheese, the eggs will all kind of fuse and stick this together into one big cheesy, sloppy mess of deliciousness and goodness. And look at that bacon, grease, butter up on the side there. My God, that's just wet dreams. And that is food porn to me. This is about as fetish as it gets. Chicken, not chicken, bacon, grease, butter, cheese, potatoes, eggs, sausage. Everything in this pan is comfort to the soul for me anyway. But that's what I'm saying. We're just going to chuck all the cheese that we got there and kind of stick it into the egg whites. And you could, if you wanted to, put just a little bit of butter on the egg yolk, but you can see, guys, we've got it all going on. And all we're going to do is put the lid back on top, and what that will do now is create the steam and kind of semi-poach the eggs on top of the already sauteed potato, bacon and sausage, and again that will merge everything together. So we've got pretty much zero mess in the kitchen. Let me just come back here and you can see everything. That's all we used. 1 knife, a chopping board, a couple of dishes for our prep. That's all we've got to wipe down is the cutting board. And let me kind of give you a little looky look. You can kind of see the eggs are starting to form, and I might even drop down the temperature just a notch, so that's just above halfway on the mark. So let me put you on pause. We'll come back and see that, because it's only a minute or 2 ago, but I got away from being completed. I got to put my toast on, get a plate, clean the board, and we'll see you in a couple, although it'll be instantaneous for you. Okay, so I've done my dishes, got my plate out, toast is on. That's what it's looking like, guys. As you can see, there is a lot of fat and juice in there, but don't let that put you off. This is the goal. So what we kind of want to do is just kind of make sure that we can get underneath this. And you can see, for the most part, it is pretty good to go. So we're just going to kind of leave that a little bit longer. You can see those potatoes nice and soft. Got a little piece of bacon. And we've got a nice cheesy crust coming on the bottom. So that's good to go. So let's just let that simmer a little bit longer. Those eggs are perfectly cooked. So I need to reposition the camera. So I'm trying to get you a close up there. Look at that. That's the gold, the sizzling oil, the eggs, the cheesy goodness. Alright, so our toast is ready. Let's get some more butter, and hopefully I can do this. There we go, get a lump of butter on there. Another lump of butter there. For our toast, and it's okay to lick your fingers when you're cooking for yourself, not when you're cooking for the public. Unless they order Beyond Meat burgers. That's what we're going to do is for our toast together, and I do like the knobby bit. Let's just pop that to the side right now. And you know what, I'm going to throw it on my coffee pot, because here comes the tricky part, and I'm almost certain this is where we are going to see our failure at the very end. We've got so far in this video, everything's gone perfect. So there you can see, and what we're going to try and do. Oh my god, couldn't have worked perfect if I wanted it to. So I didn't even lose anything. And while the pan is hot, let's just rinse that under the tap, a little bit of soap and water. Be careful not to burn your fingers. And we've already done our dishes, so all we have to do now is enjoy our meal. And as you can see, I've already got an OJ on the side. Let me give you a close-up of that. Very greasy, I'm not going to lie. Lots of fat in there, but all the good fat. Bacon grease, butter, we've got those eggs, we've got that lovely cheesy goodness. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, let's put the toast on the side. My one pan sizzling breakfast skillet. I don't know if you've got a fancier name for that. Let me know if you do in the comments. But that's my supper. I'm going to go eat it before it gets cold. Thanks for watching this on location in the kitchen upstairs from my basement shit video production for TSP TV. See you in the next one, guys. Till then, let's just keep it thrifty. Okay, so there's a little bit of bonus footage for you. I figured, you know what, I cooked it, you should at least get to see what it looks like, sounds like, and tastes like, although you can't taste it. I can. So you can see there is a crust. I did spill a little bit in the thrift store studio, and what I wanted to show you on the bottom is that burnt cheese crust on the bottom. And that is where the gold is, right there, ladies and gentlemen. See that? Burnt cheese. You know, like when you get the lasagna and the bits that stick to the pan, those are the best parts. Oh my god, wow. Just the bacon butter combo makes this absolutely heavenly decadent in all the right ways. You can see you've got a nice piece of sausage. The bacon did crisp up, and once upon a time I'd have gone absolutely apeshit for doing this, but if we mix up the eggs so everything gets a good coating of the yolk, you can see how perfectly cooked those eggs were, and that is even going to make everything taste much more delicious now. So guys, that was a little secret bonus footage that I thought about before I did sign off in the kitchen, that maybe you should get to see what it looks like. Wow, is there anything better than a runny egg yolk? But that's what you can see. That is the end product, and all that remains for me to do now is kind of enjoy it. I should have put it on my MRE tray ready, but wouldn't have worked. Perfect size, fitted on the plate. One pan breakfast skillet. In there you can see a little bit of everything. Wow, that is divine. So as I said, guys, thanks for watching. It is Shit Video Productions, TSP TV. This was Tea in the Kitchen. Catch you next time, guys. Be excellent to each other. More bonus footage, guys. Sorry about this. I'm making this shit up as I go along, quite literally. But as I said, we are trying to make more improvements to TSP TV. I've already done a few kitchen videos, and cooking in with tea might be something that we feature more regularly on this channel. But I kind of figured, you know, when I do my MRE reviews, I eat it, you see me eat it, and usually we get a burp. But the other reason I wanted to, yeah, sorry, got ahead of myself. And we usually get a burp, and I wouldn't want to deprive my beloved, the darling baby P, Becky Pamplin. Hang on, I think I got one already. There it is. It wouldn't be an eating video on TSP TV if there wasn't a burp. But what I also wanted to show you guys is I haven't mopped this up, and although we that there's another backup burp for your baby P. Bonus burps within the bonus footage. But there is, I'm not saying there's no grease, but we cook that in nothing but its own fats and juices, and a little, I say a little bit, quite a lot of added butter. Where's the fat, guys? And you may have seen me with my shirt off in a recent video. Someone asked about my tattoos. I'm as skinny as a snake. I eat this shit nearly every fucking day. So cholesterol, that is what the brain is made of. It also feeds and helps make healthy blood. I believe it has something to do with the white blood cells. Some of you may be able to help me out there with more medical knowledge, but I just wanted to show you, even though we literally used all the bad fats that they told you not to use, there's very, very little fat on the plate. I just want to choose my bit of toast. There is the last motherfucker. That was the best piece as well. I wanted to show you the burnt crusty potato. But anyway, we're gonna clean this. Was made my dear old grandmother Nana Bet. Very proud of me to see me scrape up every last morsel of juice on that plate. As you can see, butter drenched toast, butter drenched bacon, butter drenched potatoes, butter, full of calcium, full of protein, full of nutrients, full of potassium. I'm not saying I'm going to, but you could almost put that straight back in the cabinet without doing the dishes. And if it wasn't Roger's plate, I would. And Roger is my roommate, by the way. He's not my boyfriend or anything. Don't get that idea. In fact, me, I've got a big mouth of toast. But yeah, that is ambrosia. That is the goodness right there. Don't be afraid to cook with butter. Just don't burn it. Don't let the new waved, new normal, new world order diet advisors tell you any different. Take it from your good old TSP. If you want to be as skinny as a rake like me, I'm not sure if that's going to be proven or work for you, but bacon, eggs and potatoes as your staple. Give it a week. Just try and make eggs and staples your main main part of your diet, either in a different variety of ways. Maybe I'll bring you a egg and a potato salad recipe, because I do got eggs and I do got potatoes upstairs. If you do like tea, cooking with tea videos, that might be the next one. But bacon, butter, all cooked in its own juice. The added flavouring of the maple sausage just made everything about that delicious. Didn't need to overly season it or anything. So one last burp for the record, and as I said, I think now we are truly done. Thanks for watching, guys. There's no more bonuses after this.